Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's mid-season finale of Champions of Eclypsia. We got a little bit of a late start there. Twitch was giving us a little bit of the old 1-2, and we had to very much roll for critical success in order to make sure that we could get back to where we needed to be. So, apologize for the delay. We are here with this amazing star-studded cast, and we're going to go around the horn and introduce everybody, and then we're going to jump right on in to the game, friends. So, looking over to the great, the wonderful, the soon-to-be Canadian, Noir Enigma. How are you doing today?
Howdy, I am doing all right. Had a busy day, and after this, I think I'm just gonna coast.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. All right. It was good talk earlier.
Oh yeah.
Critical
Yeah.
misses earlier. It was good talk, good interviews.
Very interesting. It's
Right?
one of our more adult talks. So just content warning there if you go check out the VOD.
Oh yeah, yeah, very much. It's worth the look. I will 100% agree with you on that one. Next up, Al, how you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. Hello, everyone. MLS Rights. I'll be playing Flint, your Dragonborn Paladin.
Sweet. Now you had a good week so far.
I did.
All right, we missed you last week, but we're gonna get you caught up this week, and right in the middle of all of the chaos. Jay. Speaking of somewhat chaotic, how are you doing today, bud?
I had a wonderful early afternoon with a wonderful game that I'm still like, yeah. And I'm looking forward to this emotionally intense and productive game. And by the way, I'm Jay, also known as Neopet3 in the socials. I'll be playing Roth, our barbarian, who's going through some changes as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Very, very much changes. He's growing muscle in places, getting hair in weird places. You know, I mean, just
I'm going through changes.
Yes, yes,
yes,
he is.
yes, very much so. Next up on our wonderful list, Joshua, how you doing today, bud?
Doing fantastic. I enjoyed the daylights out of just watching Jay's game earlier.
Right?
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Coming into this, I am playing your local historian bard, Einor, he, him. And hopefully we can bring some learning to some people who are causing havoc around town.
So much havoc. So much havoc. And last but certainly not least, rounding out this amazing group of individuals, Nikki, how you doing today?
Fantastic. I've got my sugar-free Red Bull right here, not sponsored. Had some wonderful game time earlier, playing a little Dead by Daylight with my buddies. And of course, last but not least, I can't wait to watch the city of Whitebane burn.
Oh, and burn it shall. No, it's not. It's not going to burn. It's really not. I spent 3 months making this city. You will not burn it to the ground with a single.
Not
will
on
of
my
it,
watch.
Is that a challenge? That sounds
No,
like a
that's
challenge.
not a challenge.
No, that sounds like a challenge.
That is not a
Ooh.
challenge. Not a challenge.
Ooh.
It's not. I promise you. Promise.
It's
All
okay,
right,
I'm
friends.
not a murder hobo. You don't gotta worry about that with me.
Yes, I do. Anyway, so all right, friends. When we last left off, we had left the ruined city of Ferndale and journeyed away from what sounded like a marching army. Through the process of running away, yes, running away, taking an alternate way of getting back to Whitebane, you came across a very well worked bridge and encountered a group of individuals living somewhat comfortably, given the circumstances, outside of the giant city walls. So this was something that was a little off for you all and kind of taken aback. After a short period of time, you managed to make your way into the town and sort of kind of meet with these people. You met with what appears to be the chieftain of this town, who goes by the name of Balok. After a short little interlude, we'll say, you have been set up inside the old road warden's bunkhouse. Oddly enough, you are locked inside the bunkhouse, where you kind of interacted with one another, kind of taking the idea that they have locked you inside the bunkhouse as kind of like their safety / your safety. But before that, Petra had a very interesting conversation with Balok, finding out that Balok was at one point in time a Fate Weaver, that he had turned his back on the Order itself, and that he had no desire to interact with it so far. Baylor offering a place to rest and recuperate to our group of wayward souls, did not believe that the city of Whitebane, where they claim to be from, actually still stood. For during his time, he was pretty sure he saw that city fall due to an undead horde of spirits, ghosts, banshees, and the like. They informed him that the city still stood, that they in fact were able to turn back that fight through, as they have known for their history of Whitebane. Balok still kind of not quite 100% on board with this, just minds his business. At a certain point, the Black Knight shows up, and there's a brief exchange between Balok and the Black Knight. The Black Knight leaves. Now we find ourselves inside the Road Warden bunkhouse. Howls are heard outside. Through the archer slits, the group was able to notice and find many of the citizens of this small village begin to shapeshift, change, werewolves, werebears, werecats. All kinds of shifters and shape changers begin to emerge as from across the bridge, a rush of a small collective of undead warriors, and they are defending it. One of the members spies the chieftain of the town, Balok, rubbing at an amulet. And as he's rubbing at this amulet, he's reciting some sort of incantation. And as if in perfect timing, as if it was fated, Rolf begins to shift uncontrollably, as if something's calling to his blood, making him change outside of his own will, not in control of his own body. He begins to grow angry, but not for trying to save his friends and his companions. He bolts upstairs to the second-story observation room of the bunkhouse, and that's where we pick up. Outside, you hear the sounds of battle and fighting. You hear, you're not quite sure which side's getting an advantage over the other. The only way you'd know for sure is to go up to the second-story observation balcony and basically look out into the small village. You can hear howls and groans. You can hear the banging of metal against flesh and the sound of metal on metal. Rolf has bolted upstairs, his body in a state of change. Not all of it changing at once, but definitely, having that almost mid Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of vibe going on as parts of his body are shifting around and what appears to be not under his control. So, with that, what are you all doing? Rolf, where do you go?
Ralph is going up into the corner, just grasping, as this is his change is not something he does regularly. This is only under extreme circumstances. This is how he survived all those missions. And you notice that the he just grows larger, and his fur and stuff, it just gets impact, and he gains 11 temporary hit points from all these changes. He's becoming beefy, and he's just snarling, grasping things, and he's just kind of to himself like, no, but that rage hasn't set in just yet, but he wants to, yeah.
Okay. So the rest of you all see Rolf make this bolt, right? And he goes up the stairs. What do the rest of you do? There is obviously chaos and fighting going on outside, but it almost feels as if the immediate area might be of concern as well. So, what do you wish to do?
Einor is going to start looking at the door. He knows he's under the impression that it's barred from the outside. So is there a slit in it that he can put his sword through to be able to help lift the bar up? Are the hinges on the inside so he can pop the locks or pop the hinges from the inside? He's just trying to see like what are the ways that he would be able to get out if that's what it comes to.
Okay. You won't even have to roll. Your passive is well enough for it. You do notice that there are internal hinge pins, right? You didn't quite get a look at the back side of or the outside of the door when you first came in, so you're unsure of the type of locking mechanism that they use to keep the door shut. But you do see that there are hinge pins on this side. So whatever happens, the door is swings in towards you.
Okay. I'll 4 hinges, 2 on each door. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I make note of that and go, do we want out? Should we look up? I feel like we should go look at things first.
Maud is heading upstairs because this will not do. Sweetie, you can't hide from me too much. She's looking for Rolf.
Okay.
Hector will follow behind and just go, perhaps it would be wise for us not to antagonize him further.
Perhaps it would be wise for you to shut your mouth.
Flint
As
goes
she
like,
continues going
agreed.
up.
But to Petra, not to Maud. He's like, agreed. He looks at Petra and nods, but
You don't understand.
Petra's just going to say, perhaps you should lead by example then. When she tells him to shut his mouth.
Feisty, I love it. Okay.
Flint's gonna go anyways. He's just gonna go upstairs and see if there's a vantage point. He can kind of look outside to see
Okay.
what the battle is looking like outside. That's kind of his concern.
Okay. All right.
GM, quick question. Are
Yes.
there only arrow slots? There's no windows or
There's no
anything
windows?
else? There's no door to the roof or anything like that?
Okay, so the door to the roof itself, right, is when you were looking around the building, just kind of taking it in, right? There is an access hatch, right, but it's barred shut from the inside. Not like as in like it was deliberately barred shut, as in they turned this place into a cage almost for a reason.
Okay.
When you go upstairs, the first floor, does not have any actual windows. It simply has the archer slits for like a crossbowman or something along those lines. Very much a defensive measure. The second story only has a couple of windows, but they are boarded up and closed. With the exception of the one observation balcony, which has that steel cage up and over it, like I had described to you before.
Ralph is in one of the corners, just growling and just trying to keep things.
What does Ralph look like right now? Because Ralph has Shaper blood.
Yes.
So, what particular type of Shaper blood runs through Ralph's veins?
Bear.
So
his snout is coming up. His hands are hairy with a little bit of that paw and claws. He just becomes. Ralph was big. but Ralph has become even bigger. And because of the shifter that he is this massive, broad shouldered, and he didn't wear any armor. He was unarmored and everything on his back. And it was just, like I said, he is almost not, he's increased in size, just muscle wise, legs, arms, chest, and the fur is just starting to come and his snout starting to come out a little bit. And his eyes have turned a dark orange with black circles. Almost like a Jedi, Sith Lord.
Oh.
So, yeah, Sith Lord.
Are we having a little bleed? All right.
No.
Nah. Okay, so who is going to be the first one up the stairs? Maud. All right. So, Maud, as you ascend the stairs to the second floor, you find Rolf hunkered down, hiding behind we'll say a couple of overturned tables and chairs, almost like he's barricaded himself into a corner.
Oh, come now, sweetie. Don't be like that. And she's walking towards this barricade.
Okay.
And he just, like I said, grabs on the table and kind of lifting up, and he just looks at, and Maud hasn't seen this since before.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks like, get out. I can't control this. And yeah.
The owlbear is coming out to play. Is that what's going on here, sweetie?
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay.
No. What's
She just kind of looks over at Petra and Flint when they come up to kind of nudge towards the windows in this kind of like, I'll handle this kind of way.
Yeah, that was his plan. That's Flint's plan. Straight to the windows.
Yeah.
Flint just like, I ain't fucking with this.
He's like, nah. He's like, no.
You hear Einor yell from downstairs, "Hey, I think I can get this door open pretty quick if you feel the need that it needs to be done."
Give us a sec. We're looking outside.
If you hear me scream, open the door.
Got it. And he'll pull out his thieves' tools and he starts to like preset, and he starts presetting all the hinges and stuff.
Okay.
I think Petra's just gonna walk over to Maud and go, "We don't have time for this. Get him right, or I'll take care of this."
You go take care of yourself. I can handle this. Take your time somewhere else. Rolf, sweetie, what's your favorite food?
He's just that internal like back and forth gruntle noises are coming back, and you hear him say in his throat, "You're my fault."
And with that, we're gonna slide on over to Flint. And Petra, are you going with Flint out onto the observation?
After say you take care of this, or I'm gonna come back to take care of it myself. He's following behind Flint.
Okay. All right. So once you open up this side door, and then you go out onto the balcony area, and what you see is what you could only be described as a tale of what a town would look like being raided. It does not look as though they're actively like waging war on this town, but it looks as though they're actually raiding the town. They're gathering, like they're not just attacking and killing, because there are those you do find and see various dead bodies strewn about, but they're grabbing weapons that they find and running off. They're grabbing sacks of food and grain and running off.
It's undead that are doing this?
Yes.
Like it's okay.
You get the both of you, since the both of you are attuned in such ways that you are getting an undead feeling. They don't look necessarily like zombies. They're certainly not moving like them. But you do get the sense of undead from them.
Why would they need food? Weapons I get, but and then as far as this building, are there any coming our way or
they're not. No one on the ground seems to have kind of, for lack of a better term, looked up to notice you all. Keep in mind, all like the torches and sconces and things along those lines have been extinguished outside. There's no fire pits going. There's no hearths going or anything along those lines. All of that has been put out. Then the only light that you have is the faint glow from the locked moons that is kind of lighting up the area. But the both of you can kind of more or less see in the dark. So you are seeing what's happening, running around and moving around.
Do I see the traitor at all?
You do, actually. You see him with those odd gauntlet-looking weapons that he was wearing, engaged in hand-to-hand combat with one of these raiders, one of these undead raiders. And he is, for lack of a better term, holding his own.
I am going to look to Flint and go, I found my destination. I'll be over there if you need me.
Okay.
Pull out Lightbringer and make my way over to the trader.
Well, you're inside of a caged building, so you're gonna have to go out through the front door or find a way to break the cage.
Einor said he can get out. Oh, I was
yeah.
Einor said he'll pop the pins.
And Flint will shout downstairs. Yeah, open the door, Einor.
Okay, and he goes to the pins and hopefully he's set them correctly, and goes to pop the pins out of the hinges, and then immediately gets out of the way, expecting the door to fall where he was standing.
Okay.
Is Flint coming along with Petra, or are you going to try and break the cage?
No, Flint's going with Petra.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Too easy. All right. So, Einor, give me a quick sleight of hand check, since we don't have like an actual like thievery.
Yep. So using thieves' tools, that would be a 16.
Okay. Cool. Good enough. You set all the pins correctly and managed to pop them. You do, with your natural sense and reflexes, you pop the pin, and as you pop the last one, the doors do fall down inward, letting off a large booming noise. These dudes,
it goes not like that.
as Petra and Flint come back downstairs, you see the doors fall down and this like billow of dust and soot and whatnot around, and Einor just kind of standing there like,
just like give a flourish of like, okay, you can proceed out the door now, as he gets ready for whatever's about to come in.
There is a very prolific odor that suddenly rushes into the building. It smells of, for lack of a better term, wet animal and something rotting. Rolf, give me a quick perception check, will you?
By all means. Oh, we're going to go here. We're going to use it this way.
Yes, we are.
An 11.
An 11. At this point in time, The only thing that you can actually really kind of smell is Maud.
Mm-hmm.
Like your senses are desperately trying to lock onto one type of scent. But the only thing, because, and it could just be because you're interacting with her, that all of it's focused on Maud at the moment.
He's changing, so it's a difficult process, and he's trying. There's a lot of stuff going on, and he's focusing on one thing that's interacting with him currently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweetie, I know I'm your fault. We know this. Yes, it happened. I was locked away for 7 years because of what happened. That's not all on you. You helped me survive. Come on.
Survive? This is survive? And he just starts to get enraged and starts slamming on one of the windows. This is called survive, and he's trying to break the window. The bard.
Okay. So you actually trying to actually like bust out the boarded up window?
Yeah.
Okay. Clickety clackety, make an attackety. Give me a strength give me a strength check.
Strength check, athletic. Okay.
You know what? I'll give you athletics.
All
give
right.
you athletics. Just because it doesn't quite feel like an unarmed attack, but at the same time, it definitely feels like somewhat what you're trying to do.
And he's using, and like I said, he's not raged yet, but it's just about there. He's trying to get out. And yeah, the die are not being happy. That's like an 8. This is like really, really strong. And it's just failing. But his head turns towards the door as he hears that big boom of the door, or the noise from downstairs.
It's mahogany.
And his eyes just look past Maud.
Maud, you notice that his attention is no longer on you, that he is looking elsewhere.
And I'm going to continue to try and get in the way of the vision. Look at me. Sweetie, look. Come on.
Sweetie. Sweetie.
Remember? The candy?
Sweet.
All my questions? Man, that was a long time ago, I know. It was a long time ago.
Yes. Long time. You suffered. My fault. You survived.
I survived because of you. Yes, a thing happened. A terrible thing happened, but I survived because of you. I made it back.
That's what. And he howls. One of the first times the guilt and everything is just releasing the howls.
I get it. It's not the way we wanted this to happen. You taught me how to survive. And she is trying to appeal to him that that strength you have helped both of us that day. Those days, I should say. Everyone else died but us because of you. You saved me. And she is going to try and approach him.
And there's a look, and that fight and flight is combining. And he howls once more as he stands on 2 feet, drops down to 4, And that urge, he just runs downstairs on all fours, wanting to chomp on something because he needs to. For Ralph, the only way to let this out is to rage and just take out, and he can't do it here.
Okay. All right. Cutting back. Petra and Flint, you both, such stalwart, holy warriors that you are, see the doors fall. Einor is kind of in this state of like, ta-da! And what are you two going to do?
I'm gonna fight beside the traitor.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
looks
right.
like we'll go fight alongside Petra as well. Yeah.
All right. By your powers combined, you are one holy stick. As you
Definitely two holy sticks.
two holy sticks, yes. You know it's a cold day when the Protestants and the Catholics join forces to strike out. So you rush outside and you are immediately met with this grand melee of a situation. People are fighting. There's goods being stolen and run off. Lots of hit and run tactics. I need you all to make I need Petra and Flint. Unless Einor, you're joining them. Or you're joining them? Okay.
I will not be joining in the melee, but I will be joining in the combat.
Okay. Well, we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
Are you
Whatever
going
we're doing.
with them out the door?
Oh, no.
Okay then.
No.
Flint and Petra, I need you both to make perception checks, please.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that came to play. That's the 22.
Yeah. 12. Okay, 12's not quite as good. 12. You notice that these what you sense are the undead, are grabbing the grain and what food stuffs that they can find. They're grabbing them up and then they're running almost to the edge of town where you kind of spot a wagon waiting, like they're loading it up, and there's a team ready to drive off with it. Petra, with your 22, you notice something very interesting about these undead creatures. They all have humanoid shapes, but they are all from varying species. You notice that they're all from different, you notice there's some elves, there's some elves, there's some drow, there's even a half orc that you spot, many humans as well. One thing that you definitely noticed though is they don't have what you would probably construed as the typical zombie milky white eyes that are singularly driven. You notice that they are alert, that they are actively looking and thinking, whereas you're used to undead that are commanded by some other form or power. They're actually moving, reacting. They're not just mindlessly attacking.
How far away is the cart that they're taking?
So the cart is
in?
about, from where you're standing, about 60 feet away, because it's that right where the bridge first starts, on the side of, on the inside of the gate.
Flint, if I may, I would like the privilege of fighting beside a former brother. And I'm going to point to the traitor.
Okay.
But they seem to be collecting the grain and are ready to escape with it. Whatever it is that they want, I would rather they do not succeed. Can I leave it in your care to make sure that wagon does not leave?
Stop the grain. Got it. And Flint immediately bolts toward that wagon.
Okay. All right. So, at this particular point in time, we are going to go ahead and roll initiative.
Let's flirty go! Let's go!
We're going to have kind of something of a... Well, that's not good. A mix between combat and regular interaction for this. This will just kind of help ensure that the flow goes the way that it needs to go. Somebody's going to dice jail already. That's
the way it works.
That's
sometimes.
how we like to start the show, friends, is with dice jail. It went from giving him a 22 to giving him that.
Some days are just highs and lows and nothing between.
Right? Exactly. That's exactly what's not happening in any...
My initiative is a 2.
Ha! Okay. All right, then. All right. Oh, here we go, friends. All right, so let me get my cool, sweet initiative tracker sheet that I am using, which is totally not a plug for Rook and Raven, but I pretty much run this entire game out of this cool Rook and Raven book. I mean, if they feel like, sponsoring. Anyway, bad neither here nor there. All right, so, here we go. What did you get, Einor?
16.
16. All right. Maud.
Sorry. Where'd it go? There it is. Push the button. 6.
6. 2 and a 6. We have a 16. We have a 16, a 2, and a 6. Okay.
If I could throw digital dice.
And
dice jail,
Joshua, Joshua, you have a 16. Flint, what are we looking at?
15.
15. Okay. And Rolf?
9.
9. Okay. All right. So this is really bad. All right. So I don't know, 15, and then we got our 9, and then we got our...
You mean to tell me I didn't beat anybody with my 2?
And then a 2. Okay. So, for this particular incident, I've come up with some kind of abbreviated, somewhat combat rules, as I figured this was going to be something that was a little... some people are going to be fighting, other people aren't going to be fighting, right? Mm-hmm. So, what's going to end up happening is everything that revolves around what's going on with your character for that round of action, right, will all be resolved at that time. We're just going to use this particular initiative order to make sure that everybody gets their equal turns and whatnot, and nothing gets focused on a little too heavy. These are my grand melee rules, as I like to call them. So, starting off with our 16, Einor, what is it that you're going to be doing?
So Flint has started to bolt out of view. Mm-hmm. And Einor is a little confused, so he's going to focus on giving cover to Flint, since it looks like Flint's going off solo, so he's going to stay with the longbow and start firing at things in front of Flint. Okay.
So, with that, right, are you going to... What are you going to fire indiscriminately, or are you firing at one thing or another?
So specifically firing at the undead. And I have a side question on that one, but I'm going to be firing at the undead that seem to be that are just in his path. And as far as indiscriminately, he will fire at the undead indiscriminately, that are ahead of him.
Okay.
And does Einor with favored, goggles of night pulled down, looking out into the darkness, is he able to tell the type of undead or get a read on them?
You can make a quick perception.
That's an 11?
Nope.
So yeah, firing at the undead that are just in front of Flint and providing air cover, range cover for him.
Okay. And there we go. Sorry. Making sure my notes are correct. All right. So, you give me an attack roll.
Okay. That's a 9.
That's a 9. Okay.
Yeah, he's just firing arrows just
all right
into the thickness of things.
Okay. All right. So you kind of survey what's going on and looking around, and then you hastily fire a shot in the direction that Flint is running, trying to lead slightly. Flint, as you are running towards this cart, of which you've agreed with Petra that you would handle, you're running, and it's almost as if an arrow flies over your shoulder ahead of you. Not, in a sense, you don't get the sense necessarily that they were aiming at you, but that they missed.
He's going to ignore it. He's going to keep
tunnel
vision right now, so...
Are you going to stop and fight whatever comes in your way, or are you going to kind of football juke the shit out of that to get to the cart?
I'm Barry Sanders, juking and jiving toward this cart.
You know what? You get advantage on that athletics check simply from mentioning the man himself, Barry Sanders, Detroit Lions. Yeah, baby, let's go.
One of the greatest to ever do it, not get a ring.
I know,
right? 84 Lions living in my heart.
85 Bears, I feel you.
Surprised you were alive for that, Kurt.
What'd you get on that athletics check, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about Barry Sanders, and I got
for mentioning the great man himself. You get an advantage on that roll.
That's good. I got a 19.
All right, cool. So, what does this look like? You have approximately 60 feet to cover. Or, 60 yards to cover. So how are you getting there?
Yeah, kind of in the midst of this fray too, whatever small like opening Flint can do, that can 5-foot opening, he'll just kind of weave in and out, dodging any, not trying to go up into any melee or, get in the middle of cross swords. He's like, if he can stiff arm people out of the way, or I don't know if it's an action, but he's just.
Is he like is he like Heismaning people like with the arm out and
Heismaning, jumping, kind of doing that 2-step if someone like slides under him.
All right. I'm about it. Okay, cool. So you dip, dive, duck, and dodge your way over to the cart. You get there, and as you clear that last little bit, the two that are on the wagon itself dismount and draw their swords. This movement will cost you your entire action to be able to get there. So at the start, you'll be coming back around to deal with them. Rolf, the door slams down. You hear the boom, and you start to run towards the boom. As you do, that stench of rot, of undead, of familiarity, in so many, many ways, begins to assault your senses.
Yeah, so Rolf is full-blown getting outside, running past Einar as this large humanoid fur bear and wearing Rolf's clothes comes barreling past you. Getting outside and just surveying and looking to see instinctually where his group is and protecting them. Looking around, sees I guess the first thing is this action, he's just taking close anything. And is there any undead coming towards this door?
No, they're not. They're very much focused on grabbing and going after supplies,
Okay.
any weapons, tools, things along those lines that are around. They're only, from what you can see looking around using your passive, they'd only seem to be actively fighting when engaged.
Okay. So at this point, he will basically roar out with a bear, and then seeing that one of his teammates is at a cart. Can you see that?
Yes, you can see Flint, sure.
Yes, he sees Flint, and he's looking at everyone else. He's like, protect. And he's going to bolt full on for the second part of my movement to get there as close as I can. And the last thing he does is just enrage, just raging.
Okay. All right. So
and making him as a target.
Okay. So you're intentionally trying to draw attention to yourself. Okay. Do me a favor. Roll me a performance check.
Oh, I rolled a nat 20 with a -1 for a 19.
Okay.
It's still a nat
But it's
20.
still a
That's
nat
amazing.
20 on the die for a skill check, because this would qualify as a skill check. You are successful in your taunting of those around you. However, it is a slightly double-edged sword in your case, because not only do the undead see you and recognize you as a threat now, so do all the other shifters.
Mm-hmm.
Maud, what are you doing?
Well, I'm seeing Rolf go past me, basically, in this moment. And the only thing that Maud can think to do at this point is to jump on top of the guy.
So you're kind of gonna ride like the wind, Bullseye? What are you doing here?
We're going for Bear Queen. That's what we're going for.
He doesn't
I'm
have
the Bear Queen.
He doesn't have a saddle.
I know. But
I got straps of everything on my back, including a shield.
I'm
And
gonna hook up.
Okay. All right. We're going with this. All right. So give me an athletics check, please.
This is gonna be fun. I'm probably gonna.
I so approve of this.
Probably gonna fall on my face. Here. You know what? I'm gonna roll an actual dice. The digital dice have not been good to me. You said athletics, right?
Yep.
That is an 18, my good sir.
So, okay, so all right, you rolled an 18. All right.
Okay. I was totally expecting Maud to leap and fall.
What? Yeah, right. What is you have an ace? Okay, so you leap on, because technically it would have made a successful hit against his AC. You leap on and grab onto his back. Rolf, you feel this, I don't know, freaking 120-pound being just jump and grab onto your back from behind you.
So I anticipate. My impression is that as he's standing there and yelling and roaring and gets down on all fours, she jumps on his back. He looks for a second to see who it is, realizing it's Maud, and just takes off towards Flint to protect Flint with her on the back.
This is taking a turn I was not prepared for, friends.
Maud is going to hook basically one of her feet into the strap so that she can get some stability, because I mean, she's a reclamation regiment.
She understands. Right. She can ride. She knows how to ride.
She understands how difficult terrain works. And yeah, we're going in. The roar happens, and she gets ready to. Well, she's going to use one of her witch abilities whenever something comes near that she don't want coming near them.
Okay.
We're gonna try and use the Evil Eye ability.
Okay. Is this a reactionary ability that you're attempting to do?
I can't do it right now because
Okay.
yes, I'm pretty sure my skill check counts as my action.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm there.
Okay. Petra.
I apologize for this in advance. The two honestly just represents while everybody is going off doing their like Avenger thing. Petra is very casually and slowly walking towards the trader.
I'm getting a solid Loki vibe right now.
And he's just gonna look to him, unsheath Lightbringer, and go, have you lost your way to the point where you can't even settle one lost soul? And I'm going to stab it into the ground and sit and watch as he struggles to fight this thing. And I would like to taunt him to try and throw him off his game.
You want to taunt? You want not? His name's Baylock, not the traitor. You want to try?
No, he's the traitor.
He's the traitor. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So you want to try and taunt Baylock? Okay, fair enough. All right, give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. That is a dirty 20.
Okay, it's a dirty 20. All right, so hang on a second. I need to look at his stats real quick. You just set the DC for him to maintain concentration on what he's doing, and I'm gonna oppose it with a wisdom check.
Oh, that works for me.
All right, so bless you. Okay. What's your modifier?
It is my modifier for what, charisma?
Yeah.
2.
Shit. Okay. All right. So for a fraction of a second, right? His concentration, because he got a dirty 20 as well. So I was relying on which one of you had the higher modifier in order to determine which one was more successful. All right. So his concentration breaks slightly as he looks in your direction, breaking focus on who he's attacking. And the opponent's mace clips him in the knee, causing him to fall down to the ground. He lets out a gasping sound as he falls. And the being that he was fighting, its attention turns to look at you. And it looks at you in recognition. Einor.
Oh man.
You got a whole buffet to choose from, buddy.
Right?
I do. This was really easy before I watched Petra stab this amazing sword into the ground and distract things. Does it look? Oh man, now I have the traitor stuck in my head. Does it look like Balrog is going to be okay from this, or is it just a brief?
Baylock, from what you can see, looks noticeably injured.
Okay, I am going to. Is he within? This is not a touchscreen computer at all. Is he within 60 feet of me?
Yes.
Sorry, I went to go touch buttons and it didn't work. Okay. I am going to cast a healing word on him.
Okay.
Can I use my reaction to say something to Einor?
Sure.
I'm gonna. This is completely up to Ada and the GM. I'm gonna assume that Petra recognizes the casting of Healing Word, and he's just going to. No, not for him.
You hear Petra kind of shout over his, like, as you're going to cast Healing Word, as the runes begin to encircle around your hands, and then the runes begin to encircle around where Balak has taken the hit. And then you hear Petra kind of belt, no, not for him. I will let you drop it and retain the spell slot, or you can continue to do it and ignore Petra.
I'm so sorry, bro.
No, it's great. So as he starts the incantation to throw the spell across, and he hears Petra yell, "No, not for him." Instead, he'll stop and start snapping in a beat, like kind of starting to form like whenever you're doing katas or practicing, and you get into that combat rhythm. He starts to snap at that beat, and it just gets louder. And he goes, "Our host cannot fall just yet," and I will throw bardic inspiration on him, and then drop a vicious mockery on his opponent.
Go ahead
and go, "Come now. Petra has taught me many things about how worthless you are," and those words just worm through the undead's ears. Wisdom saving throw from the undead.
Okay. Fail.
DC 13. 4 points of psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll that it makes before the end of its next turn.
All right. Disadvantage.
And I will stay put at where I'm at.
Okay.
And call it done.
All right. Flint.
Let's see. Flint will have his weapon and shield out, and he's basically just going to say to the undead, it's like, why are you taking this? This doesn't belong to you.
They kind of like look at you for a minute, like in awe, like they've never seen something like you before. And they just like, the Duchess demands it, and then they move to attack.
Okay. Do I still got my attack, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Okay.
Speaking's a free action.
All right.
Unless you're actively trying to taunt.
I was gonna say no. Flint will attack.
Okay.
And actually, what I'll do is he'll fire his breath weapon at the closest one. So DC 12 dex save.
Okay. That's an 18 on the die. So he doesn't quite get out of the way, but as you go to blow out the breath weapon, right, he quickly gets his shield up just in time before your breath weapon happens.
Okay, so 5 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And that's his turn.
Okay. Their attacks back. The one that you hit with the breath weapon goes to take a quick swipe at you and will miss. The breath weapon, somewhat blinding him and disorienting him as he's trying to protect himself with his shield. The second one swings on you for an 18 to hit.
That hits. That meets it.
All right. And he's going to do 1 point of slashing damage as his sword swings, catches just the barest of your armor, enough to give you a bit of a paper cut, we'll say, and swings through. Rolf.
Yes.
You have been reduced to that of a beast of burden, being the mount of which the witch rides.
Somebody clip that, please. Ralph, so he is focused on trying to get to Flint. So he's going to be going at least 30. But on the way, is there some undead with some items stolen or some things of that nature that's on his way to Flint that he can clothesline?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
So raging, he's going to come back and he's just going to clothesline a guy as he's running past.
Okay. So you are going to be at disadvantage on this attack because you literally have somebody riding you.
Yes. Would it be an athletics?
No, it would be an attack roll.
It would be an attack?
It would be I will it would qualify as an unarmed attack roll.
Okay.
But you would be at disadvantage due to the additional weight of Maud throwing you around.
Not a problem. All right. Come on. Raging.
Do it.
That is only going to be 14.
14?
That is my lowest.
All right. So a 14 does make it. All right. Roll your damage.
It's set because it's unarmed, so it's your strength.
What's yours?
Plus rage, so it's 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. As you're going, hang on, let me check it because of where your attack would probably land. Okay. All right.
I just want him to take him, like clothesline him down to the ground and just keep going.
You stick it out and hit him, and he falls over, hitting the ground. Not dead, but you
that's
definitely
fine,
knocked him over.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I just keep going.
Okay. All right. He drops what's in his hands.
Exactly what I was looking for.
Right. He drops what in his hands. It falls around him. And Maud, you're up.
Mm-hmm. So on Rolf's back, clothesline happens. It's like, that's good, sweetie. Keep it up. And I'm looking for something that's kind of around.
Mm-hmm.
Are there individuals that are around the cart per se? Because I'm assuming we're still kind of in range of the cart.
You are. Flint is engaging 2 individuals right now that are at the cart.
Okay.
And then Rolf has basically clotheslined one guy as you are going towards the cart, and there are a couple more that are engaging some of the other villagers around you as you are moving towards the cart.
There are days where Maud would make a logical assertion to try and, not hurt friends and things like that, or weighing the risk there.
Yeah.
Today is one of those days where she is actually caring about the people that are around
for a minute
her.
there, I thought you were going to say care less. I was like, okay.
And she is going to actually burning hands towards a couple that are engaged with some of the villagers, trying to avoid hitting the villagers, and it's at that kind of angle to where she's trying to avoid Rolf too.
Okay. It is a 30-foot cone, if I remember correctly. Okay.
30-foot cone.
Okay, so utilizing the 30-foot cone and the speed at which you are currently moving.
I am now a Bear Queen flamethrower.
You are a Bear Queen flamethrower. However, for this, you are going to need to make an attack roll to ensure that you don't actually hit the people that you aren't intending to hit. Because it's a cone weapon and you're moving quickly, there is that chance that you could possibly hit those that you don't intend to.
Okay. Hold on. On the dice. How does a 16 work?
Okay.
16?
All right, 16. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so let me see here. I'm using this and I'm using OneNote. And I got all this stuff, looking at all this stuff because I knew y'all were just gonna make mincemeat out of all this. All right, here we go. Yep. Okay. All right. So you managed to hit one individual on the way, utilizing your burning hands. What is the DC save on the burning hands?
Hold on 1 second. I will have that too in a moment. The DC save for burning hands is it is a 14.
14.
Yeah.
All right. Saved. So
Alright,
what
so
is
that
half
means
damage?
I'm popping the half damage too. That's pretty bad on the damage dice. That is 5 points of damage
Okay. All right. Cool.
with 2 nat ones in there.
Ooh. All right. So 5 points. Fair enough. Okay.
But still, the
But
imagery
you
is
continue.
amazing.
You continue to ride on.
Mhm.
Petra. Oh, taunter of taunts.
I think Petra's going to get up and lazily pull the sword out of the ground and look at this creature. Does he recognize it at all?
It's not so much that this person, this being, recognizes you, but he recognizes the symbol on your shield and the crest on your lapel, so to speak, right? Because you're part of the Church of Passage, right? It recognizes those gates that are on there, right? And it's like one of those, it looks, I mean, I'll give you the fact that he's looking at it with both, if it's possible to be angry and hopeful at the same time. That is kind of the weird sort of vibe that you're getting off of him. That he's looking at you both angrily and hopeful.
I am just going to walk beside. I'm just going to walk beside Baylock and go, have you forgotten your ways so much that this is the best that you can do? And as he's on the ground, I'm just blade up to his chin to get him to stand back up.
At that, the creature is, or the undead warrior is going to take a swing at you.
Let's go.
Now that it recognizes that you are now the threat.
At disadvantage.
Oh. It gets a 12 on the disadvantage die. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that misses, and now I'm gonna attack this thing.
Waiting, holding that in reserve, huh? Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
That is a 17.
Hits.
Okie dokie. And I finally get to use my sneak attack. It's only 1d6, but I'll take it. Hello. So that is going to be a total of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage.
All right. So I assume you're using the Lightbringer.
Mm-hmm.
You draw the Lightbringer and you slash at him. He quickly pulls his shield to hold up, and the Lightbringer somehow manages to break his shield as you slice through, and this being stumbles back, and all you hear is him say, "How?"
And I'm not even going to address a dead creature. I'm just going to, I still on that creature, but talking to Baylock. The difference between you and me is my strikes are guided by purpose and faith.
I thought for sure you were going to say, I make this shit look good, but okay. Einor, Cycling back to you.
I'm gonna survey and see the Petra seems to have that situation under control. It doesn't look like our host is going to perish anytime soon. The wagon seems to be under control, question mark? With both the
yes,
football dragonborn
right,
and the
right.
bear queen flamethrower.
Yes.
So I'm going to look around and see if there are any of the shifters or the lycanthropes that seem to be in trouble that I can provide aid to.
Okay. You see one that has actually fallen during this course, and two of these undead beings are like preparing to strike at them. The catch to that is that they are in. So pretty much everybody has, for lack of a better term, moved off to the 2 o'clock position. This is off at the 10 o'clock position. So it would in fact draw your attention away from the rest of the group.
I'll split the attention off.
All right.
And I will I will shout out to the person that is on the ground and say, but be of good cheer. The tides of battle are changing, and drop a healing word on them.
Okay.
Giving them 5 hit points.
Okay.
And then I will drop the tone of after saying the tides of battle are changing,
mm-hmm.
and I will change the tone and threateningly try to like taunt using vicious mockery the undead and go, prepare to be drowned in your own blood. So a wisdom saving throw from one of them.
Is the healing word an action or is it a reaction?
It is a bonus action.
Okay.
As a spell, and then the vicious mockery is my action as a cantrip. Okay.
All right. They pass, but so what's it? If they pass, it's going to be half damage. So what's the damage?
No, not with the cantrip. They ignore the damage.
All right.
But it's really more about just that whispering getting their attention of like there's a bigger threat.
You have earned their attention. As they both look at you with a feeling of, okay, little man.
And I will draw the short sword on this one so that I actually have a weapon out since I put my bow up.
Okay, fair enough. Sliding over to Flint, back by the cart.
All right. Gonna attack the one who was on fire with my sword.
Okay.
Or who I fire. Nat 20.
Okay, you know the rules.
All right.
Roll that beautiful crit damage.
I was gonna throw Divine Smite on that too.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how many d8s total? Just want to make sure.
No, you're gonna max out your hit. You're gonna max out your hit point, your damage die.
Okay.
Right, and then double.
15.
So you're gonna do that, and then add your whatever your additionals are to that.
Okay. So 17 magical slashing.
Okay.
And then. And because it's undead, do I get an extra?
Yep, sure do.
Okay, all right. So then 24. Oh, nice.
I can hear
24.
all those dice rolling.
24 plus 16 is 40. 41 radiant.
41 radiant. Okay.
Yep.
So You literally cleave this being in two as it falls to the ground, motionless. The other one turns like with a sound of hesitation in his voice, goes, "The Duchess said that we would live forever." And he swings on you.
Okay. The Duchess was wrong.
Duchess was wrong. That is a 17, which will
That
miss. As he hastily, in his feared state, swings the sword and misses you as you kind of just bolt, do that quick little hop back. You know what I'm saying? So it just misses you. Rolf, you are up next, sir.
The first thing, and I'm assuming I'm like 30 feet from the guy that just attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is he's raging, looking, he says, "Mod off," and charges the one that swang. So I could just picture him swinging, and then out of the corner of his eye, he sees this werebear jumping at him to pin him on the ground.
Okay. I'm here for it.
With that, I mean, normally it's weapons, like grabbing weapon. No, he's going hands on, just pinning this guy on the ground and just sinking hands in.
Okay. All right then. Maud, are you going to use your reaction to ensure that you don't fall on your tailbone, for lack of a better term?
Yes.
Or are you going to just kind of let it just kind of fall off? Because I kind of feel as though Rolf would be, for lack of a better term, bucking you off of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she is definitely. The moment he says off, it's like, all right, sweetie.
Okay.
Go raise hell.
All right. So, Rolf, I need you to make a grapple attack for me, please.
Okay, and that is going to be an athletics, or is that a strength?
Grapple is a strength. We'll check this.
Or an attack.
It is an unarmed attack that I believe will grapple. Hang on, grapple. There we go. Let me double check, make sure I'm reading the right thing. All right. Yes, you make a special grapple attack. Hang on.
Okay.
So you are. I don't know why that's there. That's not where that's. Wrong thing. All right, here we go. Yes, you are going to make a unarmed attack. What'd you get?
13.
Okay, that'll hit. All right. And then we're going to have a contested strength check, if I'm understanding this correct.
Now, because I'm raging, I actually get advantage on this.
Yeah.
And I needed it. 21.
Okay. Well, he got a 6. So, there's that. So you grapple him and pin him to the ground. Now, grapples by nature don't necessarily do damage, but are you intending to try and do damage?
Yeah, as I hit him, I'm just riding him into the...
Okay. All right. So, Flint, as you are engaging this combatant, out of the corner of your eye, you spot Rolf galloping, for lack of a better term, on all four as it just tackles and like Goldberg spears the crap out of this dude as it falls down and he's on top, just like slamming him into the ground, right? Mud and dirt kicking up as if Rolf has, for lack of a better term, lost control. Maud.
All right, as I have slid off, letting Rolf do what he does best, I am now going to proceed to do a thing.
All right.
A wonderful thing. All right, so we're going to see if this works. Is there any particular individual that is in our group that seems to be having kind of a rough time?
Not
that I can see within 60 feet.
Particularly, there are a couple of the villagers who are having a hard time fighting off these beings, as they're pretty much fighting unarmed and they have weapons.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to aim this at one of them.
Okay.
And we are going to use one of the witch's hexes. This is going to be fun. This is known as Ruin.
All right.
And
please explain to us what this does.
So, as an action, you choose one creature you can see within 60 feet to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay. On a failed save, the creature's armor class decreases by 3 to a minimum of 10 until the end of your turn.
Okay. Until the end of
your next turn.
End of next turn. Okay, cool. All right. So go ahead, cast this ruin spell.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where she just kind of reaches out and you see that weird glow. And I'm almost getting a little bit of, you see that flicker of that other individual that's in the back of Maud's mind that kind of flickers out, and she just reaches out and just this flick. As this.
She says flick, or she just flicks?
Yeah, she just flicks with the hand.
All right.
And it's like blue-green energy reaching out towards.
All right. As you're casting this spell, you hear in the back of your mind, "Yes, use me." And as this blue-green energy flicks out from your fingertips towards these creatures, what is the save on this?
It's a Constitution save, and it is DC 14 because it's the same as my spell save.
All right. Okay. Well, lucky for you, my dice are shit today. So the blue-green energy hits the armor, and as you hear that sound reverberate in your mind, you see their armor begin to almost rust and rot.
You get it, yeah.
And like for a moment, they're like, "What?" Right? Looking confused. And at that, the villagers are able to take advantage of that particular effect and strike them down as they are distracted. And you see what can only amount to a pack of wild animals ripping a beast apart from limb. You actually hear a scream.
Interesting.
Petra. So now what are you doing? Because you're taunting and fighting.
I want to look at Baylock and see how he's looking. Or see what he's doing.
All right. Baylock is he's kind of rolled, like done like a, I don't want to say a rollover. He's done, because your sword has moved from underneath his neck, right? Mm-hmm. He does something akin to a kip up, and then he moves around to flank the guy that you are now engaged with.
Have you learned your lesson, brother? Or is this just a false show of your ego again? And I'm going to attack again.
Okay. Clickety clackety, make an attackety.
Here we go. That is a 22.
22 will hit. Roll damage, please.
That is 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15 points of damage.
Okay. You go to you go and you swing your sword, attacking this person, cutting deep across their chest. they fall down to their knees, grabbing at them, like grabbing at this wound in their chest. Not dying yet, but very much like somehow having a reaction to the pain, but a look of confusion on his face as well, because he's like, I shouldn't be feeling this, so to speak. And at that, you see Balak come up behind him and sink his metal claws into the sides of this enemy's face, twist and pull, and the creature's head is removed from its shoulders, and he just tosses the head aside. And he looks to you, and he says, "You need weapons, what I can do with my hands." And
my inspiration.
out of the background, and my inspiration.
Petra's just going to say in return, it is due to my faith and my patience that I allow you to keep your hands.
He just looks at you, smirks, in that sense of like, yeah, keep talking, asshole. As he moves on to, you see him immediately bolt over to one of the villagers that's fallen, and he sort of like body checks one of the raiders and helps the fallen villager up to their feet.
If I could, I would like to use my bonus action to say, even your aid is pathetic, and that'll be my healing word for the person that he's helping.
Wow. Okay.
Salt is real today, folks.
You do not leave the gang.
Like, yo, this shaker is full of salt, but like, I'm not 100% sure that there's enough in here for what is going on. Like, wow. Wow. All right. So,
that's my turn.
Wow. All right. Okay. As he moves over to help them up, that person like becomes, actually, you know what? Hang on.
Should I roll the healing?
No.
I'm sorry.
I need you to make a charisma roll for me real quick.
Okay. I don't expect much out of it. That'll be a nat 20.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So he lifts up his one of his villagers, helps him up, and the villager instinctively looks to you and gives you the Robert Redford head nod that we are all familiar with, and then goes back out to go fight. And then Balak looks at you, like his head turns to look at you, in the very much giving off the vibe of, oh, we'll talk later.
The last thing I'm gonna say I'm so sorry. The last thing I want to say to him is, you were mistaken. We're done with you when we say we're done with you.
Anor! Jesus.
So as I have these two coming towards me, now that I've got their attention and they're no longer on somebody on the ground, I'm going to just duck down with the short sword in one hand, grab the dagger blade side down out of my boot, and I'm going to go in and try to slash and stab into one of them.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Go ahead and make your attack.
All right. The first one was an 18 on the die, so it's a total of 23 with the short sword. What is that? Oh, that's a D6. With a 5 on the die, so that's 8 points of damage if a 23 gets through.
Okay, it does.
Okay. So 8 points of slashing damage, and then coming down with the dagger. With a 15 to hit.
Hits.
With 2 points of damage, because 2-weapon fighting, coming down with the dagger into the chest.
Okay, roll damage.
That was
Just
2
two?
damage.
Just 2?
On the. I don't have any modifiers to it whenever I'm 2-weapon fighting. It's just the straight die roll, and it's a D4 with a dagger. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so you land the daggers. You land the daggers in, and it kind of like steps back, like the whole like, this little shit just stabbed me. And it goes to make an attack back at you.
And that is with the 8 from the short sword as well.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Does a 15 hit?
It does not.
Okay.
I have 17.
All right. He goes and he literally tries to do the whole smacks you with his shield thing, but he kind of misses in the process. And then we move on to Flint.
All right. First off, just want to thank the raiders coming in. We got a little looks like a little raiding party going on. Speaking of that, he's gonna go around. He's gonna try to prevent this wagon from leaving, so he's gonna try to break one of the wheels. I'm going to break the wheel.
Okay.
So just make an attack roll against it.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 12.
I mean, you hit the wheel for sure.
All right. For 14 points of magical slashing.
You break the wheel off. The cart kind of falls over.
All right, well, took care of that, and he'll nod at Rolf and just kind of Flint will kind of sit there seeing if anybody else, from the raiding party tries to come for that wagon. So
Okay.
that's his turn.
Okay. All right then. So you are so as you're moving around and you turn to look and you hear this whistle sound. All of you hear this whistle sound. Those that are not engaged, which is the bulk of them, minus the one that Rolf currently has pinned, all seem to look to the west as they all hear this whistle noise across the wind. And as if in a series of black cloud puffs, they all, one by one, just pulling back. Except for the one that Rolf has pinned. As he's desperately trying to reach with his hand to a clasp that's on his cape, but he can't, and he's trying to fight against it, but Rolf has him pinned down.
So Ralph's turn, right?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So Ralph realizes that grabbing the cape and brooch off of him, and then pulling it away from him and hitting to the ground, grabs him by the legs or arm, whatever he can get a good grab, standing up and looks over at Flynn. That's not how you break a wagon. This is how, and uses the guy to slams him against the wagon.
Make an improvised weapon attack at advantage because he's kind of big.
I love this. This is great. You can't get this on TV. You
I
cannot.
know this is a PG-13 show.
I mean, he's not using weapons. He's using.
Are you hitting a mother with another mother?
Yeah, he is. Straight up. He is using one of the bad guys to beat another wagon and destroy the wagon with the body. Go ahead at advantage
It's an 18.
I mean, yes, you hit the stationary wagon with the. Okay, so what I need you to do, okay, is I need you to roll your improvised weapon attack damage. Only whatever you roll, double it.
I mean, improvise, is it 1d4? Or, I mean, strength, isn't
It's
it?
D4 plus strength plus rage.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's going to be d4 plus 6. All right, so let's get a d4 out here. Roll.
Yeah.
So
We really out here hitting motherfuckers with other motherfuckers.
Yeah, we are.
yeah.
We are.
So
100%.
3 plus 6, so 9 points of damage, and so 18 points of damage. As he's just like, and he looks at Flint. That's how you just take out the wagon.
Flint, I need you to make a dex save, please.
This is the dopest thing that's happened today.
That is a 16.
So, as you see Rolf grab this dude by the leg, and he's like, what? And smack! And you hear this bone-breaking sound. And then the entire cart rocks. And then smack, 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 as this body is slowly turned into a broken pulp. Blood gets launched from the various open wounds, and you manage to kind of do the, as like a chunk of, you're pretty sure, jawbone flies past your head and lands somewhere behind you. As he just goes and goes and goes. And this carries on for about 2 straight minutes before the only thing he's left holding is the broken off chunk of a leg with a bloody pulp type concoction splattered up against the side of the wagon and on the ground, heaving heavily. And at this, we're out of combat, as everyone, and I mean everyone, is looking at Rolf, covered from head to toe in blood, gore, and viscera.
And with the final thing, as he finally calms down, it seems like he's finally calming, standing on 2 feet, throwing it on the ground. He just kind of, and just looks at his hands and looks at himself, and he's just kind of like, and a like acceptance kind of comes to him.
Clap behind him.
Yeah. Flint says
Yeah.
thanks for the help, and then he's gonna look for that cloak. The cloak with the clasp on it.
Feeling better, boss? As like Einor is like turned around, seeing that everything's disappeared, and looking over at like Rolf coming to this like acceptance, and just like feeling better? Feeling better, boss?
I need everybody to make a quick perception check for me, please.
At 20 for 22.
Okay.
17 plus 5, 22.
Okay.
Nat 1 for a total of 4.
Okay.
7. Yep, he's just focused on himself.
Dang. Nat 20 for a total of 25.
Look at all these nat 20s on these perception checks. Ladies and gentlemen,
Where
here
was
we
this?
are. Rolf, you're standing there feeling proud of yourself. Einor is literally standing there giving you an ovation, clapping. The rest
That's
of you
mine.
look around and see the other shifters and lycanthropes amongst the village slowly stepping away, shifting back, changing back, with looks of sheer horror on their face.
Flint goes, we saved your grade.
Balak is looking with a sense of disappointment.
Like the insight check, homie.
Okay.
12 plus Where's my insight? 7. I think that's a 19 total.
Okay. The body language and expression that he's showing as he looks around at the rest of his people, and then he looks at Rolf, is he has the look of a disappointed grandparent. That whole, like, I know you could have been better, but you done did wrong. And he literally just says, you lost control. You are more animal than man, and you are not in balance or at peace. Collect your things and leave. And he literally, like, you literally see all of the villagers that are there actively turn to where their backs are facing all of you.
I'm going to try something, and I probably should.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
You deem yourself fit to pass judgment on anyone betrayer of your own word and oath? Have you succeeded at anything since you strayed from your path? I see here a collection of failures, the bodies, each one accounting to the pride that you filled yourself with. And now you stand to look at the very people that protected you, that kept you alive, and show us your back. You couldn't even save your own. If Ralph here is more animal than man, then what are you? A man is nothing more than what he values, his word, his truth, his oath. You are an oath breaker.
He looks at you. Balok looks to you, and he smiles. And he says, Cleric of the Way of Passage, your oath is to that of your new god. Your oath is to that of your very spiritual being. Yet you, a fate weaver, gladly would sacrifice every one of your compatriots to meet your own end and claim that it is for the betterment of all. I turned my back on the Fate Weavers because I realized that every life and every being deserves just as much of a chance as the next. However, I was no longer willing to make those sacrifices any longer. And so, yes, I left that clandestine order and sought out refuge. Yes, the Blight Duchess may raid us from time to time, and yes, we may take a casualty here and there. But in the end, we still live, and you are still a lackey to those who are power-hungry from things of the old world. You bring an unbalanced beast into our midst. I told you, I warned you, stay inside. Stay inside that building no matter what. And what did you do? Violated our laws, violated our rules, disobeyed us directly. All for what? For your pride? So you could come out and taunt? We had things well in hand.
No. We came out because, unlike lies that you spew, I am not willing to make a sacrifice or two.
You seemed
but is that
he's too happy to sacrifice when you
he's
could
going
have stayed
to
in there.
He's going to look at the person he cast healing word to, and he goes, "How do you feel about being a sacrifice or two?" And I'm going to try and win the crowd.
You're gonna try and win the crowd? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to state that you are probably going to be at disadvantage on this.
I'm here for it.
Okay. You are going to be at disadvantage on this for two reasons. One, they have already actively, collectively turned their backs.
Yes.
Okay. And two, right? The only thing at this point that you've done, as far as the populace is concerned of this little village, is insult their leader.
I mean, I was right, though, but it's fair. Here we go. Hold on. I just got to find the...
You got to find the right dice, friends.
Got to find the right boys. Got to find the right boys. I love these dice, but I don't trust my Black Lives Matter dice. They always fuck me. I mean, whoops. I mean, frick me. Whatever. Here we go. This is... Okay, you're good, and you're definitely good. All right, here we go.
While this is going on, Mata's turn to Rolf, and it's like, it's okay. Everyone has to work on things.
Okay. I got a 14 and a 17.
Okay.
And my persuasion is 2, so that's 16.
All right. Here we go. Two.
No way. Oh, frick.
Turn. And as they do, they turn and look at you, but then they realize that they're the only ones that have turned around, and then they quickly turn back.
Oh, okay.
After that happens, Flint, let's say Flint holding the cloak, he's like, well, who is this Blight Duchess? Like, if there's a way she could be stopped, she would stop raiding your villages. You wouldn't have to sacrifice people.
What do you do with that cloak and that clasp?
You know what? Flint's, he holds it for a moment, and he's gonna put it on without really thinking about it.
He's going to put it on without thinking about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going.
All right. So as you put it on and you relatch the clasp, poof, all you see is black smoke. And then poof, you are in a concrete hall of stone and wood, tables, and several other what you instinctively recognize as revenants turn to look at you.
Ooh.
And that is where we're going to end today, friends. Because even though we got a little late start, we got to end here to our time for today. So, that, my friends, is going to be that is it for now. We are going to be taking a 2-week break due to things like Gary Con and other various events that are going to be happening here next week and the following week. And we will be back with Champions of Eclypsia on April 9th. Everybody, do not forget to grab your Idle Champions code that is in the chat by typing !code to make sure that you grab that code for a Electrum chest, if I recall correctly. Yes. Before I finish thanking the rest of our sponsors, I would like to go around the horn, hear from everybody, and then see what happens next. So, going around back the other way, Maud, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I got to ride a bear.
Ish?
Yeah. Ish. It's kind of interesting. This is a weird turn of events, and I love it for our mid-season. you know? If you like the art that we have here, that is Brian F. Patterson, D20 Monkey. Buy his stuff, commission him to do things. He is amazing to work with. You will see me at McStabber Studios next month on Tuesdays. Werewolf the Apocalypse is coming back.
Ooh.
Season 2.
Sweet.
It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a couple more deaths. Who knows? I'm trying to think of anything else I'm gonna be in. No, it's just that and Champions of Eclypsia. And yeah, I am going through a bit of a rebranding. So
Okay.
Ravinia is going away, and the Goth Puricorn
I like
taking
it.
over.
I like it. It's kind of a little bit, yeah, it's a new personality taking over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that movie, Single White Female. It's all good.
Oh gosh, no.
I've seen that movie. All right. Moving on, Joshua, how you doing, bud?
Doing good. Learning that I need to I need to teach some history lessons to Petra probably in some downtime about making friends and I don't know, other nuanced things.
I'm not good at making friends.
I love it.
I'm sorry.
I love Petra so much. Just the salt this game has been fantastic. So for those who don't know me, I'm Joshua Rao, J Rao Tech over on Twitter, and Gen2 Penguin over here on Twitch. Streaming horror games throughout the week, possibly doing some other stuff here and there very soon. But I will unfortunately not be able to be at Gen Con, not at GaryCon next week because I will be at GDC. So following in the brand of J Rao Tech. If anybody wants to talk about VR, AR, conversational learning, or games and their masses and that sort of thing, hit me up over on Twitter and let's chat because that's my jam and that's where my brain's going to be for the next week. So yeah, that's me.
Outstanding. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. This was great. I want to thank everyone for letting Ralph and letting me explore Ralph's just insecurities and just the I mean, he's changed. This is the first time he's changed since, like, he only changes in dire straits and he has an uncontrollable change. And this perfectly was laid out for storyline. So able to drop in. So thank you so much. And those who don't, I'm Jay, also known as Neophet3 on the socials. You can find me tomorrow, Sunday at 3:30 on Miniature and Domain for Star Wars Shadowport Adventures, which I am the GM and I'm running. So we're having some exciting back there in the game. And then I will actually be at GaryCon. It's my first GaryCon. So I'm excited to be able to play in a whole bunch of games last minute. But hey, I'm new. I'm nervous, but so if you see me, please say hi. I would love to meet everyone that's out there as I can. There's a lot of people that I know that are going, but hopefully, like I said, beer, drinks, hugs, whatever, just high waves. Please say hello to me. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Al.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I figure we should end the season on a cliffhanger of sorts. So
Yeah. I have a small note here that literally says, if someone puts on the cloak, they'll go to the keep, but no one's going to do that. Thank you for proving me wrong.
You know, the only reason it happened is because you wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so this
not
is really your fault.
No,
It's really your
because
fault.
I've got tons of other stuff written down here that y'all didn't even. So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm Alice Wrights. Find me on Twitter. Nothing really else going on right now, but
Okay.
you know.
All right. Cool beans. And Noir, man of the world, soon to be Canadian.
Hello.
You know, what's going on?
Not too much. I promise I'm nice. Petra's just a little salty boy.
He is a little salty boy.
It's funny. I'm getting to play out a lot of the stuff I dealt with when I left the church. So it's just like, oh,
Nice.
this is what it's like to be on the other side of that. Hi, everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Enigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Tomorrow, you can find me behind the scenes doing tech and producing for Rivals of Waterdeep. They're on their 12th season, on their 7th episode. So that's going to be a good old time. I've got a new show coming out over on the Cookout RPG. It's called Fractured Destinies. It's the party is made up of sextuplets, so they're all siblings. They're all Clash Star siblings with telepathy. So shenaniganery will ensue.
No doubt.
Other than that, though, just check out my Twitter to see what else I'm up to. I'm sorry, Petra's such a salty boy.
I mean, there is that. And for myself, I am Covenant the Horrible Alchemist, also known as Kurt. You can find me pretty much everywhere by my name, because I'm boring like that, I guess. But today was fun. Today went in directions I didn't think today was going to go. So I took this and then just kind of whoop and threw that sucker out. And then here we are now. So much happened, so much to do. Like I said, we're off for the next 2 weeks. So if you're just finding us now, it's a great time to go catch up on all the episodes previous to this one to get a kind of better lay of the land, understanding what's going on. I would like to thank Unmade Gaming. Yo, thank you for that raid. That was greatly appreciated. Thank you, everybody who came in and all you wonderful raiders. Thanks for sticking it out with us. I would like to thank Satine Phoenix, obviously, for providing this wonderful platform for us to put this game on, for lack of a better term. Idle Champions for those sweet swag code for playing on the old Idle Champions. Get that Electrum chest, folks. Sirenscape, definitely, for being a longtime supporter of the channel and kicking out some really, really great tunes. You can find me next over on my channel on Tuesday. I don't know what I'm playing. I'm playing something on Tuesday. I believe it's either Neverwinter or Rainbow Six, one of the two.
I think they're basically the same game.
Yeah, right. Totally, completely. One's an MMORPG, one's a first-person tactical shooter. I mean, same game, right? But past that, we will see you all here in a couple of weeks, and where we continue on with the second half of this season for Champions of Eclypsia. I hope to see you all again here soon. And as always, friends, remember to be fearless. And we will see you all next time. We will see you. Bye.
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 Bye.